and welcome to today's episode of Drop the Knowledge by SiToLub. I'm your host, Daniela Fonseca, and I'm excited to bring you a deep dive into one of the most innovative projects happening in Europe's green industrial transformation, the SiToLub project. So today we are joined by Francesco Pagano. He's a researcher at Technicare and also the coordinator of SiToLub. And he will kick off this podcast. He will be talking about this project, the SiToLub project, paving the way for sustainable lubricant innovation. So, dear Francesco, welcome to the podcast. We have a fantastic episode lined up today. Get ready to delve deep into a topic that's crucial for the future, the sustainable lubricant development. So, Francesco, thank you so much for joining us. To start, could you please introduce yourself and tell us about your role, both within Technicare, of course, and as the coordinator of the SiToLub project?
Hi, Daniela. Thank you for inviting me to talk about the project. I'm a mechanical engineer. I started to work in Technicare almost 16 years ago in a collaboration in an European Marie Curie project for the development of new lubricants. So since that moment, my technical expertise expanding not just to the field of lubricants, but touches different aspects of tribology and material characterization in general. For my role as coordinator in the project, my tasks are more focused on project management to guarantee that the collaboration between the partners works smoothly and there are no delays or problems for the execution of the technical activities. And I have to admit that I was very, very lucky with the partners that we had because they can work in a very efficient and competent way. So I cannot complain. And in addition to my responsibilities as coordinator, Technicare has also the responsibility of the development of a characterization methodology and to carry out characterization of the lubricants. In SiToLub, this characterization is essential for the validation of the predictive models that we are developing, and also for specifically for the functional assessment of the lubricants. And another important activity of Technical is also the development of the platform that should accommodate all the set of computational tools that are being developed. But this activity is realized by other colleagues. So.
Excellent introduction, Francesco. It's great to hear your background and also your experience. Before jumping into a brief overview of the SiToLub project, I'm going to ask you about the Safe and Sustainable by Design, also called the SCSBD framework, and how it can benefit the industries. And then I will ask you about the SiToLub project itself. Could you please start by engaging and let us know a little bit about this framework, which is an essential part of the project?
Yeah. So the framework is promoted by the European Commission for designing new chemicals and materials that are not only functional, but they have also safety and sustainability aspects taking into account. So the idea is that the safety and the sustainability are considered from the start, so minimizing the negative impact that these materials can have on human health, environment, or climate. So it should be highlighted that the adoption of this new approach has also benefits for the industry. It's not just a marketing strategy for the industry to say that they have a green product. In reality, many benefits come from being able to meet the future regulation requirements from the various legislation from REACH, CLP, eco-design regulations, for example, so that they don't have to change products after a certain time. Another important aspect of the adoption of the SSBD approach is that you can consider from the beginning the whole value chain of the product. So you can take into consideration the future problems that could appear with the supply chain of the materials. For example, if we are talking about critical raw materials, or the also aspects like the energy consumption of the system, or the cost for the disposal of the product. So all of this is taken into account thanks to the approach that the European Commission is developing. So summarizing the objective of the SSBD framework is to create a new industrial approach that benefits the creation of products that are safe for the workers, for the users, the environment, and that they are also sustainable, both from the point of view of economic point of view, and from the point of view of functionality.
Excellent introduction. Thank you, Francesco. Your question really enables us to understand better the sustainable development of lubricants based on this SSBD framework. Let's get into the heart of the SiToLub project. What inspired its development?
Well, SiToLub is one of the many projects that are funded by the European Commission for the materials according to the SSBD principles. So in this case, the European Commission was asking to promote the development of new computational tools that were able to predict the behavior of the material for what concerns safety, sustainability, and performance. So we decided to focus SiToLub on the development of a digital platform that integrates a wide set of computational tools that can simulate these aspects that we said before, but specifically for the design of new generation of lubricants. So in SiToLub, we are developing a lot of different models. We will have 5 CUSAR models for the assessment of the biodegradability of the lubricant. Then 18 different models for the various aspects related to the toxicity. We have several tools for assessing the sustainability of the lubricant, considering also the social and economical impact. And there are functional tools that will evaluate the performance of these formulations with CUSAR models, molecular dynamics, and finite elements. So another important feature of the platform that make it unique is that we will use generative AI for proposing new chemical structure. This will allow us to go in the direction of structures that are not non-existing, because they will be absolutely new. And also we will have some artificial intelligence model that will consider all the inputs derived from the other computational models, and also from the characterization that we will realize to optimize the formulation and to select the best performing lubricant.
Great insights, in fact, and especially when you say that the purpose is to get a set of computational tools to design new chemical structures, provide a new generation of lubricants. Today, in a landscape where the lubricant development and formulation are constantly evolving, also pushed by the regulations towards providing greener products for industry. What makes SiToLub's platform stand out, and the computational tools as well, compared to the current approaches that are available on the market, if there are any, of course?
Well, at the moment, the industry of lubricants is still linked to the past. So all the development of a new lubricant is based on the experience of the formulator, and this is a very challenging job. We should consider that the lubricant is made by a mixture of the base oil with many other kind of additives that can interact with each other. So it's very difficult to define the best combination, especially when you are working in a ever-changing regulatory requirements system like we have today, that because of new legislation that appears, there are some products that you cannot use anymore. So in this SiToLub will try to facilitate the work of the formulator. Another aspect that also complicate the work of the formulator is that for each application, the requirements for the lubricant can change a lot. So just changing a few working parameters for the lubricant, the performance that is obtained is very different. So we are developing this new AI tool that is based on generative AI that should propose the chemical structure according to the requirements that we set for functional requirements, but also in terms of sustainability and safety. This approach, as you can understand, is very different from what we have in the industry. So the platform, in addition, can assist the lubricant industry, not just in the designing phase, in the first phase of the development of the lubricant, but also in all the stages, because we have a big number of computational tools, but the platform will also be connected with a large number of laboratory devices for the characterization of the substances, both in terms of safety and performance. So all this information that will arrive to the artificial intelligence will give also a way for improving the design of the initially selected structures. So this is an iterative process that will guarantee the best result.
Thank you, dear Francesco. You were saying that SiToLub in a very particular way aims to reduce the development time, and this will facilitate the lubricant industry. And specifically, you told us about the different requirements that each formulations have because of its performance as well. How do the models developed in SiToLub and its platform as well, how do they contribute to more sustainable lubricants, and what is the impact that it can have in industries like transportation or manufacturing?
Well, up to now, we were talking specifically on the effect that the platform can have on the lubricant industry, but in reality, the lubricants are essential elements across a lot of industrial sectors, not just transport and manufacturing, but also energy generation, food processing, construction. Whenever you have a machinery, an engine, or a mechanical component in movement, you need to think about a solution for minimizing the friction and the wear, for example. Although in some conditions you can avoid the use of liquid lubricants, but in most of the times the lubrication is a must. So for this, the total amount of lubricant that is used every year is huge in the order of millions of tons, and just a small fraction of the total of the lubricants produced, it can be considered safe and sustainable, according, for example, to the standardized criteria for ecolabel. We have also to consider that although there are legislation for the proper disposal of the lubricants, the percentage of collected used oil is still very low in Europe and everywhere in the world. So from some information that I had, the collected oil should be less than the 50% of what was produced, and this is in Europe. So it's this shows the relevance of the problem. What we want to do is to show that it's possible to produce a competitive, safe and sustainable by design lubricant to the industry, so that in this case it will be also easier for the industry to adopt this kind of approach for for their lubricant for the lubricants that they select. And I think that this will be a benefit for the industry, for the environment, and for the people. So
Of course, Francesco, it's a great way of integrating again the SESPD framework, and for us to understand the different connections, and as well as how the SESPD is allowing, and how SiToLub allows by employing the SESPD framework for a more green development, and you defining and telling us as well that lubricants play a major role in all industries, sometimes even working on a development or improvement of a small fraction of this formulation makes it more friendly for the environment. And these are good news, and we understand a little bit better how SiToLub effect on the industry and on the environment as well can be huge. Since SiToLub aims to develop this framework, combining all these computational tools, AI, what role do external users play in validating this solution, and how do you ensure that it has applicability?
well, the platform that we are developing will be initially tested with internal use cases, because this will facilitate the development and the tuning of the tools. But the final objective of the project is to be able to produce lubricants for a wide range of application. So the platform should be used for formulating lubricants for multiple use cases without excessive effort. The role of the final validation in the project has the objective to show that the platform is really able to assist the lubricant industry in producing new solution for a desired application. So this the objective here is to show to the industrial sector that it is possible to obtain a safe and sustainable and also performing lubricants uh, with low effort, thanks to our platform.
So it's good to know how the process inside SiToLub works, because you were saying that you are going to fine tune in a first instance, and this is why the use cases and these early adopters will enter and then deploy to a major ecosystem. It's interesting to see how you are worried about obtaining lubricants in a safe and sustainable way, while providing for the needs of the industry itself, which are major, big, and probably very different between industries themselves. Looking beyond the scope of the project, because we know the SiToLub project is time limited, let's put it like this, or at least the first funding part. How do you see the SiToLub platform being leveraged in the future, and what industries could benefit from it the most?
So I explained before, the idea is that after the end of the project, the platform that we are creating will give service to the industry for this design of new lubricants. So we have already a company in the consortium, iTribomat, which will be in charge of the commercialization of the platform. iTribomat is an open innovation test bed that provides tribology services to the industry. So after the end of the project, iTribomat will expand the portfolio of services that provides, thanks to the SiToLub platform. And in the industry that could need a lubricant compliant with safety and sustainability requirements could use our service. Anyway, the platform will work only on the design of the structures. The final formulation should be worked together with the lubricant manufacturer. This need to be clear. And but anyway, well, the other sectors that really will need our services are the lubricant manufacturer themselves, because they can have a lot of help from our tool, but also the industry related with the manufacturers that produce additives for lubricants, because the kind of tools that we are creating can help them to propose new chemical structures to the industry.
Dear Francesco, thank you for this overview on the sustainability after the project ends, and for allowing us to see how the connection with Tribomat as an innovation, open innovation testbed that already provides trapology services will allow this platform to grow and to be accessible as well, because this will then be a joint work with the manufacturer as well. So finally, looking ahead, how do you envision that SiToLub will transform lubricant engineering over the next 5 to 10 years? And I'm asking you this because before we talked about reducing the development time, which is probably one of the tasks that is more time consuming in the development of new formulations or obtention or obtaining new chemicals.
Well, I think that all of us, we are experiencing the revolution that has been launched by the artificial intelligence in the industry. So this is a revolution that is affecting many aspects of the society, and the lubricant manufacturing industry will certainly be affected by the change as well. So I think that SiToLub will be a milestone for this change, and maybe that in 10 years from now, the implementation of the SSBD approach will be the normality for the design of the new lubricants.
A great ending, dear Francesco, saying that SiToLub aims, in fact, to allow this generation of lubricants, like the new normal, in designing the lubricants. This was a very insightful conversation, Francesco. A huge thank you for walking us through the objectives of the SiToLub project and the future impact that it will have in the world of lubricant development and other areas that are related. The potential for this project to redefine sustainable practices is huge. So thank you so much for providing this insight and to participate in this kickoff of this podcast. For our listeners, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please remember to subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn too. We'll be back soon. Until then, keep an eye on how innovation and how SiToLub is driving a greener industry.